right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our public session board meeting for Wednesday, November the 26th. So we'll begin this evening with our land acknowledgement of traditional territory, and tonight that will be read by Trustee Connors.
Simcoe County District School Board acknowledges that we are situated on the traditional land of the Anishinaabeg people. The Anishinaabeg include the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. We are dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture and committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect with all First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people.
Thank you very much. Please rise if you're able for the national anthem. This version of the national anthem is courtesy of Inisteri Secondary School. Will also be read by Trustee Connors.
The Simcoe County District School Board is committed to creating a culture of belonging, engagement, and success for all through deliberate actions and an intentional focus in diversity, equity, and inclusion. The Simcoe County District School Board Board of Trustees will conduct meetings in an inclusive, respectful manner that upholds the principles of respect for human rights and allows all members, staff, and guests to participate fully regardless of race, religion, ethnicity, age, ability, and gender.
Thank you very much. All right, so next on our agenda, we have the roll call. So Trustee Harrigan is absent this evening. She advised me in advance that she has responsibilities at an educational event this evening and such is unable to attend tonight's regular meeting of the board. At this time, the board is required to move a motion to authorize or not authorize the absence. Is there a trustee who would like to move a motion to authorize the absence of Trustee Harrigan for the November 26, 2025 regular board meeting? Trustee Talbot, seconded by Trustee Lloyd. Any discussion? Okay, so I'll call the question. All those in favor? And that carries. Thank you. Okay, so I did that right. We're good. Yes. Dana, yes, okay. That's right. I thought I missed something with that part. My apologies. Okay, so also Trustee Powell is absent this evening. He did advise me in advance that due to a work commitment this evening, he is unable to attend tonight's regular meeting of the board. At this time, the board is required to move a motion to authorize or not authorize the absence. Is there a trustee who would like to move a motion to authorize the absence of Trustee Powell for the November 26, 2025 regular board meeting? Trustee Wilson, seconded by Trustee Talbot. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? And that carries. Thank you very much. Okay, so next up would be the approval of the agenda. Do I have a mover for the approval of the agenda this evening? Trustee Connors, seconded by Trustee Lloyd. Any questions or comments on the agenda? Not seeing any, I'll call the question. All those in favor? And that carries. Thank you. All right, do we have any declaration of conflict of interest this evening? Not seeing any. Okay, so the following minutes have been placed on the consent agenda: regular board meeting, special meeting of the board, and organizational board meeting. Are there any items that trustees wish to be removed from the consent agenda? Not seeing any. So I would be looking for a motion to approve the items. Oh, I'm so sorry. Trustee Foley. Trustee Foley, please go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't see.
Madam Chair, I'd like to put my notice of motion on the table for the evening.
Sorry, your motion that you have?
That's right. I'd like to place that on the table.
I do have your motion coming up on the agenda.
No, but I meant put it on the table so it's not being discussed tonight.
Oh. When we get to the motion, we can do that? Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, so, I'm just going to back up there a moment and make sure we're on the same page. Are there any items that trustees wish to be removed from the consent agenda this evening? All right, not seeing any. Thank you. So I am looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a mover for that? Trustee Wilson, thank you. Seconded by Trustee Grummett. Any questions or comments? Okay, so I'll call the question. All those in favor? And that carries. Thank you very much. Okay, so that takes us to a report from student trustees. So this evening we have student trustee Kim to provide a report. So please go ahead.
Through the chair to the table. Today we had an engaging student senate meeting that covered a range of important topics. First, we discussed our student trustee initiatives covering the food insecurity concern and grade 8 to 9 transitions and how we plan to implement them in high schools, incorporating valuable input from members. We also explored how community resources and funding can support these initiatives to make them sustainable and impactful. Anti-Bullying Week was this past week. Students engaged in meaningful discussions to maximize a solution-focused approach to respective topics. Finally, we emphasized empowering students to start their own clubs and promote diversity and representation, because nothing strengthens school spirit like a club for everyone. Who knows, maybe one day we'll even have a board meeting enthusiast club.
Well, I think you have some around the table who might sign up for that one. I like that idea. Thank you. Thank you very much for your report. Do we have any questions or comments from around the table? Trustee Strong, please go ahead.
Thank you so much for the report. And my question through you to student trustee Kim is, are there many barriers to setting up a club for a new student? And can you just describe what Student Senate is doing that is able to help people set up those clubs and make those connections?
Through the chair to the table. Currently, we are trying to provide awareness for students to help them understand the steps they need to take and the approach they need to take to, for example, form a club in their own school. So the main step for this one is having an idea, forming a proposal, and then finding a teacher that would be willing to support this club. After that, they would take to the vice principal, where then it would be discussed, and overall it should be approved to overall enhance the sustainability and availability of clubs within schools.
Yes, Director Stevens.
Thank you. And just to the student trustees, as you report back to Student Senate, you may want to sort of open it up to not just teachers, any educators or staff in the building can lead clubs, and many do, and many, I'm sure you have that experience as well as community members. So we do have many community members who come into the school. It's a bit more of a process through the principal or vice principal. You'd work through that, but that's another area in which students are looking for representation that they are unable to find the staff member who might be a person. They could look for a community member, and principals and vice principals could help with that. So something to bring back to Student Senate.
Great. Thank you very much for that, Director Stevens. You have a follow-up, Trustee Strong?
Just a comment and follow-up to say thank you to Student Senate, because I think this is such a great activity for this group to be engaged in, to try to engage more students in participating in the school community in a way that's meaningful to them. So thanks for taking that initiative.
Great. Thank you very much. All right. I'm not seeing any other questions or comments, so thank you very much, Student Trustee Kim. Okay, so next up, we do have a delegation this evening. So we have a delegation from Chad Hazelwood about student transportation safety concerns, bus stop location. So please join us at the podium, sir. So you are allowed up to 10 minutes for your presentation. Trustees will then have 10 minutes for questions of clarification. So please let me know when you are ready to start. Director Stevens beside me will start the timer, and she will provide you with a hand signal when you've got 2 minutes remaining for your presentation. So IT has brought up your presentation on the screen. So please signal IT when you would like them to move to the next slide. Okay. All right. Whenever you're ready, you may start.
Okay, go ahead. If we go to the next slide. So on behalf of my wife, Nikki Moore, our 3 children, Jackson Moore McPherson, Carson Moore McPherson, and Finley Hazelwood, and myself, Chad Hazelwood, we thank you, Madam Chairperson, and the board trustees for the opportunity to speak here today. I'm here today to present information to address concerns regarding our current student transportation safety concerns regarding our school bus pickup and drop-off locations. As a family, we believe that safe, reliable, and timely transportation is an essential part of children's access to education, and recent changes have presented risk for our children. Our hope is to work together to reach a solution to which both our family and the County District Board of Education can agree upon and ensure student safety is the utmost priority in all decision making. A little background, my wife and I were married just over about a year and a half ago. She moved down with her two boys just about 2 years ago. They were in French immersion in York Region, so it was a natural progression for them to go to Forest Hill and continue. We were only informed about the school changing, the French immersion moving to WR Best. We heard a rumor last year around Christmas. It wasn't official until spring. We were never informed that we would, we put both boys in to continue on the French immersion. We were told if you want to continue French immersion, go to WR Best. If you want to go to English, go to stay at Forest Hill. So we chose to continue on their investment in the French immersion. We were never told that there would be a community pickup location for the kids to be picked up. We assumed that it would be grandfathered and they would still be picked up as they were. And then our middle son, when he went on to Barrie North, again, we were told either Barrie North for French immersion or Eastview for English. We chose for him to continue on his investment into the French immersion program. Again, not told that there would be our responsibility to get them to a collection point for his busing. 12-year-old son walks 1.3 kilometers from our house, majority of which is on Highway 27, which is an unlit sidewalk-free stretch of highway that would be walking in the winter months. The 14-year-old and 16-year-old sons walk along the same stretch but continue on, a total of 2.5 kilometers. And then they have to be there by 7:22 in the morning, so they leave in the dark in the morning currently. The concern of the children is not the distance, it's the extremely unsafe conditions along Highway 27, especially during the winter months. Next slide. So this is just a quick slide just showing our escalation process to how we got to this point. Once we were given the new bus location in the spring, it's the first time we were notified that they wouldn't be picked up at their current location. We started the appeals process by calling the school and speaking with the vice principal and principal, and they put us onto the consortium. We were followed the process through that and the escalation process until we then got on with the superintendent and then involved our trustee after we were denied from the superintendent to try and open it again and have another look at it. And that's what brought us to delegation here today. Next slide, please. This is just a quick overview map of the two different routes. Both of them you can see on the left-hand side is the younger one, the 12-year-old, walks to Doran Road from Dwyer Road, which is just over 1 kilometer. No lights, no sidewalk or anything. And then the other two children walk from Dwyer Road to that point and past all the way up to Finley Mill to the PharmaSafe. Some of that, which after that kilometer does have some sidewalks for a portion of it. So the main contention is that secondary Highway 27 does not provide a safe walking route for the access to the bus stop. Next slide, please. So here's some more diagrams, a little bit hard to see. So the 1.7 kilometer route along secondary highway, there's poor visibility, high snowbanks, high volume and high speed traffic. Access to Dwyer Road, there are no lights. There is 3 lanes there and 4 lanes down on Doran Road. Following the Ontario law, the Highway Traffic Act, when there is no sidewalk, you're supposed to walk on the side facing traffic, which means the children would be following law, crossing the street on Highway 27 on their return home and then crossing it again, the other 3 lanes once they get down to the house. So yes, also just the busy Doran Road with everybody coming in through, very busy in the morning for the kids to be coming through with no crosswalks, no lights, no road markings, crossing guards, and that sort of thing. Next slide, please. So on the left-hand side are just the Ontario direction for school bus routes. And the things highlighted in red are all things that we have concerns with that this currently doesn't take into account for the children. The right-hand side is just a reference to the Highway Traffic Act and the what is in there for the law for walking in when there's no sidewalk, to be walking facing traffic, to be crossing the road. So yes, significant risk crossing Highway 27 to comply with pedestrian law requiring walking facing on oncoming traffic. Next slide, please. So risk factors, high volume secondary highway with 4 lanes merging into 3, lack of sidewalks, soft shoulder, walking route, no lighting, no pedestrian crosswalk, no traffic calming measures in place. Speed, it's an 80 kilometers an hour, but driving that myself, I know a lot of people are doing well over 100, 110 at times. So there's absence of marked crosswalks or pedestrian signals at Doran Road. Poor visibility intersections due to parked cars, garbage cans, and things like that as well. Lighting and visibility, poor visibility during the early morning pickups, especially in the wintertime. Children wearing dark clothing and so on. Weather exposure, harsh conditions like rain, snow, cast off from vehicles. If a snow plow is on the way, the children have nowhere to go except jumping into the ditch and getting covered in snow. Stranger concerns, the long walks, increased vulnerability with encounters with strangers. Other burdens as well. The kids are all at sports tonight. So carrying books to school, sporting gears, musical instruments, things like that can be taxing and impractical. Family and social equity, parent concerns. My wife was struck by a car in her teens and almost killed on a sidewalk in the middle of the day, full light and everything. So this caused her a great deal of stress as well. So policy and infrastructure issues, inadequate planning, long walking distances may reflect inconsistent transportation policy. Lack of traffic safety measures, if no crossing guards, proper lighting or safe pathways. We ask the board to consider these risks and concerns when evaluating our request to work together to find an alternative solution to using Highway 27 as the travel way to the community bus stop. Next slide, please. So this is just on the left is the considerations taken in for a home to school criteria. On the right is the French immersion, which doesn't seem to include some of the main things here we're looking at. Why is there a dual standard for safety applied to the Simcoe County when a student has not moved, but the school program has? And what's previously deemed unsafe and given closer bus stop is now okay to walk. Using criteria for the consortium, we do not feel accessing Highway 27 along the route shown is meeting the threshold for student safety and the odds of the criteria for home to school stop location. Next slide, please. So request for safety study completed for the assessment of change the bus routes. So provide assessment criteria that establishes a secondary highway for pedestrian use as safe. Explain logic for why home to school safety criteria is not applied for French immersion program pickups when the board changed the school location and is now considering the same safety criteria. Request a study utilizing Dwyer Road for a pickup or drop-off point, utilizing the cul-de-sac, which is the diagram on the right-hand side. Nice large paved cul-de-sac, which is 1 kilometer further down from the current location. Review route efficiencies. Conduct a route optimization study to examine alternative routes or bus stops, locations to exist what can be created to avoid Highway 27. Examine why existing program students are not grandfathered into decision-making process for transportation when making changes existing students' home, school, and program locations. We wish to find a solution to prioritize safety to ensure they continue their education as planned. Next slide, please. So some closing. Transportation is a cornerstone of student success. Addressing these concerns will require collaboration, investment, and of time and potentially resources and innovative solutions. We urge Simcoe County District School Board to prioritize this as a safety issue to ensure safe and equitable access to education for all students, regardless of program or location. We understand and endeavor to work within policy and any framework created to support student safety and success. Again,
that is time.
Thank you very much for your presentation. So now, as I mentioned, trustees do have 10 minutes for questions of clarification, not comments, but questions of clarification on your presentation. So I'll open to the floor. Are there any questions of clarification from trustees? Trustee Wilson, please go ahead.
Hi, through you, Chair, to Chad. My question is, your children, what are they saying to you about their walk in this commute? Like, how is it impacting them?
Madam Chair, so one of the boys already mentioned that he felt he almost got hit coming home the other day. As the snow is coming, obviously it's going to be, right now they're currently riding their bikes to and from to be able to make it. Also, one of them came across the tracks from the accident Friday night, right across where they ride their bikes. That happened as well. So they're nervous, especially with the snow coming and the idea of the plows and so on like that. The distance isn't so much, especially for the younger one, but once you get into 2.4 kilometers for the older ones, getting up there is, and leaving so early in the morning to get up there in the dark. So.
Okay, thank you very much. Trustee Bites, go ahead.
Thank you. Through you to our presenter. Do you know, and maybe you don't know, are there other kids taking this stop that also have to walk along Highway 27? I would assume that there's similars. Do you have any idea of how many kids this is affecting?
I just see what children are picked up at the location, so I don't know what families, when they got changed and switched from French to English to avoid this. We've had our house up for sale since the spring, and unfortunately the market, we plan on moving in to try and keep them in this as well. And unfortunately the market, we weren't able to get it sold this year. But we do know of one friend that's across the circle, the Mill Circle there, that they work from home, so they are driving their child to school every day.
Thank you very much. Trustee Grummett and then Trustee Wilson.
Hi, thank you. And through the chair to Chad. Chad, when you're talking about the policy, do you feel that the decisions that were made did follow the current policy?
Sorry, what do you mean?
So when you talk about the steps in the current bus stop, do you feel that they're in line with the policy that is existing right now?
So it depends which, I guess, policy you're looking at. If you're looking for the student to school versus
the French immersion transportation.
French immersion,
yes.
no, because it goes to the community stop, which we didn't, and there seems to be different rules to get to the community stop that don't align with the English, or not the English, but the home to school. There seems to be two different ones, and when it comes to the French immersion ones, a lot of the criteria the safety and all those kind of things don't seem to be a factor. It just becomes your responsibility as a parent to get them there safely is it. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You, Trustee Wilson?
Yeah, through you, Chair, to Chad. So just a bit of a follow-up with Trustee Bites' question. You said you weren't sure about how many others, but you know that there are parents who switch their kids to avoid this? Is that what you're saying? Like they switched?
I'm only assuming there have been. I know some did switch when the school moved, just talking to our son. I don't know criteria why they switched, and I don't know if since the bus new location came out, if other people just switched, and I'm not sure why they switched, but I know there have been some kids that chose to stay in English and stay in Forest Hill, whether that was busing reasons or not. I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you very much. Trustee Lloyd?
Thank you, and through you, thank you for your delegation tonight. I've been an advocate of French immersion program for a very long time. It was my motion that brought it to this board. So I just want to make sure you understand, or that it's clear, that French immersion is an optional program. Mm-hmm. It's not a mandatory program, so it is a bit different. And that there is no requirement to provide busing for French immersion, that we choose to, as a board of trustees, fund transportation for French immersion, or at least as long as we can, because transportation is a significant financial pressure for our board. So are you aware of that?
I am now.
Okay.
Since this has all been in my research and so on, I guess our biggest challenge was We weren't made aware that, like when they were in the school and everything else, that one, it was being moved until kind of the last minute to their school, but then also that it was a collection point. We were not made aware until we got that notice saying bus route and collection point is now here. And we'd already enrolled them in the new schools because we were just told, go French, go here, go English, go here. To me, that's a rather large kind of piece of information for us to make the proper choice at the time. So yeah, we didn't know till now. Obviously, it's a program of choice, yes, but we were not aware about the busing situation until we had already enrolled them and started everything.
Yeah. Follow up, Trustee Lloyd?
Thank you. And my other question to you are, Simcoe County is large. We're as big as Prince Edward Island. We have many highways within Simcoe County. And so are you aware that it is all parents are responsible for getting their students to school within the 1.6 and 3.2 kilometer walk zones?
Which I mean, yes, so the distance isn't our issue at all. It is the walking, the safety issue on 27, especially having to cross 27 coming to and from school.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Any other questions of clarification at this time? Oh, sorry, Trustee Strong, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Chair, and through you. In the previous slide on your presentation, you listed a number of, I guess, options or potential solutions. Are those solutions that are being seen for the first time at this presentation tonight, or are those solutions or potential solutions that have been discussed through the channels, as you showed the map, that the journey you've been on with this? Have you brought those forward?
Sorry, it'd be cool for tonight. The solutions potential for tonight, things to look at, or potential solutions, trying to move forward and find a solution for this.
Okay. Not seeing any further questions or questions of clarification at this time. So after a delegation, I do have the option to accept your delegation as information, refer it to the director, or refer it to a standing committee. So I will be accepting it for information. I do just want to add that another part of our agenda later on is other matters. Trustees do have the opportunity to bring this up and discuss it further then. So it could possibly be discussed further then as well. Okay?
Fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your delegation. We appreciate it. Okay. All right. So next step on our agenda. So we did have Trustee Foley's motion, but I understand you would like to lay that on the table, Trustee Foley?
Yes, Madam Chair. What I'd like to do is lay it on the table because I have a few more questions to put forward before I bring it back to the board. So I'll ask the questions during trustee questions.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So then that brings. My apologies. One moment. Okay, thank you. Thank you for challenging me on my bylaws on my first meeting, Trustee Foley. I appreciate it. So we have a mover to lay it on the table. So I would need a seconder for that. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Trustee Bites, thank you very much. So it is not debatable, but just a vote. So I'll call the question. All those in favor? Okay, and that carries. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, so moving on our agenda. So we do have a notice of time sensitive motion. We have a notice of motion from the November 10th, 2025 Special Education Advisory Committee meeting, Bill 33, Supporting Students and Children's Act. I myself am involved in this motion a little bit. It came from SEAC. I am the chair of SEAC, and I was involved in writing the letter. So I feel at this time it would be best for me to turn the chair over to Trustee Strawn at this time. So I will be doing that now.
Okay, thank you, Chair Feek. So the item that's before us is a notice of time-sensitive motion from the November 10th, 2025 Special Education Advisory Committee regarding Bill 33, Supporting Students and Children's Act 2025. And if I can have a mover for the motion. Trustee Connors and a seconder? Trustee Lloyd. Okay, would anybody like to speak to this motion? Okay, Superintendent Jacobs, you'd like to speak to the motion?
Not at this time.
No? Trustee Rafiq, would you like to?
Okay, then I can, sorry. Thank you. Yes, so we did have a very fulsome discussion. It was brought up at SEAC by one of our organization members, the possible impacts of Bill 33 on our board. We had a very fulsome discussion, and the SEAC members decided that they would like to write a letter to the Minister of Education discussing their concerns with the possible elimination of trustees. So that was the letter that was included in your package there. I'd be happy to answer any questions regarding the motion that passed there and the letter that followed.
Trustee Lloyd?
Thank you, and through you, Madam Chair. I do also sit on the SEAC committee, and there was a discussion about this, a lot of questions, and we all know that Bill 33 has passed the House without any debate. It was a timed matter, so it was done very, very quickly. Although the bill has passed, I think it's still really important that this letter be sent to express the concerns of the members of the SEAC committee that were discussed. And so I'm hoping that the table will support this so we can send it through and express those concerns, because this letter goes beyond just Bill 33. There's many other things in this letter that are of concern. So hopefully the table will support it and we can send the letter.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Lloyd. Any other comments or questions? All right. So it has been moved and seconded that the board approve the letter written by the Simcoe County District School Board SEAC chairperson to the Minister of Education regarding Bill 33, Supporting Children and Students Act 2025, as set out in Appendix A of the report number B2A, Notice of Time-Sensitive Motion from the November 10th, 2025 Special Education Advisory Committee meeting, Bill 33, Supporting Children and Students Act 2025. So I will call for the vote on this motion. All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, that carries. And with that, I will turn the chair back to Chair Rafiq.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair Strawn. Vice Chair Strawn, I appreciate that. Okay, all right, so moving on in our agenda, that takes us to committee meetings reports, items for decision. Staff reports. So that takes us to amendments to report of trustee attendance, and I believe Director Stevens will speak to the report.
Thank you, and through the chair. At the January 29th, 2020 regular meeting of the Board of Trustees approved the motion that the Board receive annually in December in public session a summary report of trustee and student trustee attendance at regularly scheduled board meetings, special meetings, and standing committee meetings, and mandatory committees and committees of the Board, and that a summary report of trustee attendance by trustee be posted on the public website. At the December 21st, 2022 regular meeting of the Board of Trustees approved a motion that trustee attendance report be amended to include further committees that have been formed. So on March 4th, 2024, the Director's Performance Appraisal, DPA, came into effect, and as per the regulation, school boards are required to establish a DPA committee. The Simcoe County District School Board has an established DPA committee, and as this is a statutory committee, it is recommended that the report on trustee attendance that is brought forward annually be amended to include this recently formed committee. The Simcoe County District School Board bylaws were updated on September 1st, 2025, and include changes to the board standing committee structure, and the Human Resources Standing Committee was eliminated, and the Board and Facilities Standing Committee was renamed to the Business Standing Committee. These two committees also changed from being committees of the whole. It is recommended that the report on trustee attendance that is brought forward to the Board of Trustees annually in December be amended to include these changes. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much. Do you have any questions or comments? Okay, I'm not seeing any. So the recommendation would be that the board approve amending the report of trustee attendance that the board receives annually in December to include the Director Performance Appraisal Committee and to reflect the current standing committee meeting structure as set out in report number B4A, amendments to report of trustee attendance dated November 26, 2025. Do I have a mover for that? Trustee Bites, seconded by Trustee Grummett. I'll ask one more time. Any questions or comments? I'll call the question. All those in favor? And that carries. Thank you very much. Okay, so moving right along in our agenda. So next up we have 4B, SEAC member appointment. And for that we have Superintendent Jacobs.
Through the chair to the table. As outlined in Ontario Regulation 464, SEAC plays a vital consultative role in supporting the interests and well-being of exceptional students across our board. Currently, the Simcoe County District School Board, SEAC, includes 10 members representing local associations with the regulation permitting up to 12. A vacancy has arisen in the SEAC membership representing Family Connections. Family Connections is a valued community partner legally mandated to protect children and youth from abuse and neglect. Family Connections has nominated Catherine Horlings to fill this vacancy effective November 27th, 2025. Ms. Horlings meets all criteria for the appointment and brings relevant experience and commitment to the role. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions or comments? Okay, not seeing any at this time. So we do have a recommendation that the board appoint the SCDSB SEAC effective November 27th, 2025, Catherine Horlings as the SEAC member representing Simcoe Muskoka Family Connections as set out in report number B4B, Special Education Advisory Committee member appointment dated November 26, 2025. Do I have a mover for that? Trustee Bites and second Trustee Talbot. Any questions or comments? Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? And that carries. Thank you very much. Okay, all right. So that takes us to 5 committee minutes and reports for items for information. So first we have the minutes of the Program Standing Committee held on November 12th, 2025. Do you have any questions or comments regarding this report? Okay, then we have the minutes of the Business Standing Committee held on November the 5th, 2025. Do we have any questions or comments on this report? Not seeing any. So we also have the minutes of the Special Education Advisory Committee held on October 6th, 2025. Any comments or questions on that report? Okay, not seeing any. Thank you very much. Okay, so I believe we have no staff reports for items for information. So that takes us to other matters. Do we have any reports from liaison members? Trustee Lloyd, please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and through you to the table. I did participate in the Ops Board of Directors meeting all day Sunday. And I just wanted to let you know that they are moving forward with changes to their governance structure. I had brought that to the table's attention previous to this. They're going to be focusing on engagement at the regional meetings and changing the structure. There are going to be some information sessions. I think the invitations actually went out this afternoon for them. There's going to for directors of education chairs and vice chairs with respect to the proposed changes. And then there will be a special meeting of the membership on December the 18th, 2025, where we will be asked to vote on these proposed changes to the governance structure for the Ontario Public School Boards. It is very different to the structure that they currently have. And more information will be coming forward, but I would encourage trustees to have a look at what's coming from OPS with respect to these changes.
Thank you very much for that update, Trustee Lloyd. Any questions or comments? Okay, not seeing any at this time. All right, so that takes us to number 2, questions and comments from trustees. Anyone, any questions or comments? Trustee Foley, please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and through you to Superintendent Young. Just in response to the Safe Schools violence report we received last month, Superintendent, we've been told that staff have reported to me, union staff and bargaining unit staff have reported several hundred workplace violence incidents in September and again in October. Is it possible that the numbers could be in that range at this time?
Superintendent Young. So I believe we're going to go to Superintendent Van Nispen for an answer.
Sure.
Thank you, and through the chair to Trustee Foley. So workplace violence reported incidents, that falls under the Joint Health and Safety Committee that we have here at the board. It's part of our internal responsibility system where everybody in the workplace has a role keeping workplaces safe. And so staff have the responsibility to report all health and safety work-related incidents to their administrator or manager. Administrators and managers in turn have the responsibility to review, investigate, and endeavor to resolve promptly. KICS forms are a health and safety operational tool that supports this internal responsibility system by facilitating reporting by staff of health and safety incidents. And these incidents do include everything from slips, trips, and falls to perceived acts of aggression, repetitive body movement, overexertion, struck by contact by objects. And then this facilitates follow-up by their administrator or manager.
Follow-up, Madam Chair.
Follow-up, Trustee Foley?
Thank you. Just to be clear, I'm only asking whether the numbers in that range are possible based on what the board receives. Can you confirm that, Superintendent?
Superintendent Van Espen?
Thank you, and through the chair to Trustee Foley, they would be contained in those numbers.
Okay, follow-up again, please.
Follow-up?
Given that the incidents may number in the hundreds per month system-wide, would you agree that reporting school-level totals each year would give the public a clearer picture of whether and where violence is occurring? Superintendent? Would you like me to repeat the question?
I don't believe that it'll. Give me one moment, Trustee Foley. Yes, thank you. So we believe the question is out of order, Trustee Foley. We're not here to ask the opinion of staff. We are here to discuss our opinion on the governance, but not the staff's opinion on that.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Then I'll just follow it up with something else, if that's okay.
Okay.
In closing, Madam Chair, I'd like to say that I've been advised that there were 575 incidents reported in September and another 509 in October. I find that a little stunning. These numbers were supplied by Ed staff and union, and they seem to be much higher than the incidents reported to us, presented a few weeks ago. I think it would be a good idea if we could come together with the Joint Health and Safety team and talk to them to get a clearer picture of what's going on, because the numbers we're getting and the numbers that I'm being told are very different. And I really don't feel that there can be any governance without data. And currently we seem to have two sets of numbers that are significantly different. And I think we need to sort that out so that we have a better understanding of the levels of violence and injuries going on in our schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Foley. I believe Director Stevens would like to reply.
Thank you, and through you, Chair, to Trustee Foley. So I just want to make something very clear. So I first personally take great offense to this is the second insinuation that you've made, that staff have provided something that is inaccurate. Staff have not. So we have accurately provided data that was also shared with the Ministry of Education as required. So this is in regards to PPM. Implying otherwise is false and insulting to the integrity of the staff who work here at the Simcoe County District School Board. We have a Health and Safety Committee. It is an internal operational reporting committee. So I will leave my comments at that.
Thank you, Trustee Stevens. I'm sorry, thank you, Director Stevens. Trustee Foley, I will come back to you, but I just want to stick to our bylaws. I don't want to stay too long on an issue, so if you could kind of wrap things up, I would appreciate that, but I'll come back to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I will wrap it up. To the Director, I wasn't trying to imply anything. I'm just saying that I'm getting a lot of numbers from different bargaining unit members and a lot of stories about different things going on in different schools, not necessarily in my area, but across the board. And I wonder if there's some sort of communication breakdown between some of the schools and the staff here at headquarters. So that's my concern, and that's why I felt that maybe we should try and make an attempt to try and dig a little deeper. Not trying to insult anybody, just trying to get clearer information. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you, Trustee Foley. Trustee Lloyd, I believe I saw your hand next.
Thank you. I'd just like to follow up on Trustee Foley's comments. It was made very clear to us when we got the report from staff at the meeting 2 weeks ago that they're two very different things. And I think that has gotten lost to Trustee Foley, and I think what he's talking about is a very different issue to what we talked about with the presentation and the report that came from staff as per Trustee Foley's motion. They're two very different things. And so I think that it's very, when we're talking about these things, we first of all need to understand what it is we're asking for and what the information is that's being presented. Staff did that night clarify that for us, so, you know, there should be no misunderstanding. And, you know, I think, you know, the issues that Trustee Foley represents, yes, we are aware they are happening. It's a provincial issue. It's being talked about in the media provincially. And I think, you know, any insinuation that staff aren't presenting the right information to us or the inaccurate information to us is a gross error. They did provide the information to us as per the motion that was passed and requested of staff. And so I think when we do motions, it's critically important that we ensure those motions are written in the manner that we get the information that we're actually asking for. And so I think that, you know, what Trustee Foley is bringing up tonight is another issue altogether separate to that report that we previously received.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Lloyd. Do we have any other matters? Trustee Wilson, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment that today the decision came with regards to the matter of the school board and myself, and I just wanted to read what the judge had said in the decision, which is public. Just 1 second. So I did win my case. The judge's conclusion is the application is dismissed. In closing, I wish to note some observations. Given the new regulations and the renewed commitment to requiring in-person meetings, reflected therein, the issues raised in this application are unlikely to repeat themselves. Then the next point is, while I have determined that the work secondment in Halifax did not change Ms. Wilson's residency within the meaning of Section 219(1) of the Education Act, in the circumstances of this case, the requirements for in-person participation at board and other meetings likely means that such a placement would in the future be incompatible with the board members' duties. As well, the board chair has a responsibility to ensure that meetings are run in accordance with policies and practices. Going forward, the regulations give clear guidance on what is required. The board should have up-to-date policies and should engage in practices consistent with those policies. To the extent that issues regarding board member participation at meetings need to be litigated, the board should first consider its conduct so as to avoid a situation where a particular board member is targeted unfairly. And then the last piece speaks to the parties are strongly urged to settle the issues of costs, and basically given time frame with that. I won't read that. I have incurred significant costs because of this. I would like to know what the board's costs were, because that was obviously taxpayers' money that was wasted. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Trustee Wilson, for sharing that information. I did just learn about this myself just before the meeting, so I have not had a chance to read things or find any answers to any questions. I do believe any financial discussions would have to happen in closed at this time, as it is still a legal matter. But like I said, I just don't have any information right now. I have not even had a chance to read anything myself yet at this time. Follow up, Trustee Wilson?
Yeah, through you, Chair, I'd like to know why it would have to be discussed in closed, because this was, this whole thing was brought up in public and directed at me. And the case is public. The decision is public. So I don't feel there's any reason why the costs that the board has spent to do this needs to be discussed in closed. I think that the community has a right to know where their tax dollars went and why.
Okay, thank you very much, Trustee Wilson. So my response to that would again be that I just learned about this moments before our meeting started, and I have not had a chance to confer with people that would help me make this decision and have this proper conversation at the table. So I wouldn't be able to provide that information at this time, or we have the conversation now. Follow up, Trustee Wilson?
Yeah, through you, Chair, that's fine. I'm not expecting you to have that answer today, but I would like that answer. I can tell you my costs are $26,000.
Okay, thank you very much. So we will follow up with that, Trustee Wilson. Thank you. Trustee Foley?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and through you. I feel the decision is public, and the taxpayers have a right to know what the amount is. So at the earliest possible convenience, I think that needs to be explored and shared with the public, since we are a public board and we need to share that information.
Okay, thank you for those comments, Trustee Foley. Trustee Talbot, did I see your hand?
I'm just, Chair Rafik, I'm just questioning whether this is under the criteria of the Education Act, that we're dealing with cost involved and we're dealing with individuals. I don't see why this would not qualify as an in-camera issue.
That's exactly what I'd like to find out, Trustee Talbot. Thank you. So like I said, I literally found out about this moments before our meeting started, so I don't feel prepared to provide a proper answer and a proper decision at this time. I will absolutely follow up and look into it, but I want to be prepared before I decide where we're going to have this discussion. Follow up, Trustee Talbot?
I understand. Yes, I have a follow-up, Madam Chair. It's disregard. I'll bring it.
Okay, thank you very much, Trustee Talbot. Any other matters? Trustee Grummett, please go ahead.
Thank you. And through the chair, I just had a couple of questions regarding the French immersion transportation piece that we heard about this evening. I'm going to ask Superintendent McLean if he can provide some of these answers. When looking at the policy, when will it come to us again for review?
Through
Superintendent McLean?
Through the chair to Trustee Grummett. So it was reviewed last in March of 2022, both the APMM policy. Currently, right now, we are reviewing the policy to improve it to corporate standards. And then past that, the review would be back to the table to revise or change policy.
Follow up, Trustee Grummett?
Sure. Okay, so we don't have a date quite yet, but we know it will be coming back likely in the next, it will come back to us.
Yep, working on that right now. Thank you.
And then just another, I'm curious, again, through the chair, are we aware of how other school boards operate around transportation to French immersion programs? And again, if you don't have all the answers, but I'm just curious, is it what we are doing where we have the communal stops, or are there other things that are possibly happening?
Through the chair to Trustee Grummett. So in Ontario, whether students in French immersion receive transportation depends on that particular school board. I can't comment on any school board in particular, but it does vary across the province. Some boards provide it under varying conditions, and other explicitly do not provide it or limit the transportation depending on the catchment distance or the program boundaries.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Bites?
Yes, thank you. I have a follow-up about the transportation thing. Through you to Superintendent McLean. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Oh, hi. Hey, Peter. All right. I was wondering, the delegation got me thinking about how the consortium is defining sidewalks or lack thereof, and how many students, my first thought was how many students are potentially walking down highways. And, you know, it just, I don't know if this is something we've looked into or if you are able to comment at that, because it does seem highly dangerous to be walking down a highway without a sidewalk. But I don't know the circumstances. I don't know if you're able to provide any further details.
I'll just come to Director Stevens for a point of clarification first.
Yes, thank you. And through you, Chair Rafik, to Trustee Bites. So just a point of clarification. So what the delegation was talking about was community sites. So there's no set standards for community stop locations. It is the responsibility of the parent to get their child to the community stop if they wish to take transportation to the program of French immersion. So if you're asking about regular transportation, Superintendent McLean would talk to what the transportation consortium looks at when it comes to safety to getting to a bus stop. But the community stops in which the delegation was talking about, it is the responsibility of the parent guardian to get their child to the community stops.
Does that answer your question, Trustee Bites? Or
somewhat. It kind of makes me have more questions. Thank you for that, Director Stevens and Superintendent McLean. I guess I'm concerned that, there clearly is different rules and I'm a big fan of walking everywhere, I think I once recommended to a parent that they get snowshoes. Anyway, but not that this is appropriate in this case at all. I don't mean to imply that. Anyway, what I mean to say is how sustainable is our French immersion busing? If we're not able to provide the same level of service that we do to our regular students, is there a timeline? I'm recalling Trustee Lloyd's comments about that she made about how long we can sustain this funding, and obviously we want to give all. I get that it's a optional program and we're not funded for it, and I know all those. I just am wondering, what is our position as a board? Or is this something, are we going to be able to do the community stops for the foreseeable future? Or is this something we're going to have to go back and, if you're taking French immersion, you're going to have to find your own way?
Superintendent McLean?
And through the chair to Trustee Bites. So at this point, we are committed to working and supplying transportation to French immersion. We work with the consortium every year to plan routes, and as per policy right now, by following policy, it does create consistency across the board, which does help us manage the entire transportation portfolio. APM 1225 clearly states it is the responsibility of students and parents to transport the student to and from centralized community bus stops at designated times for pickup and drop-off. As well, in our policy 2410, we do have a very strict criteria as to the nature of the stops, which include distinct and different location from regular bus stops, availability of parking for parents to drop off students and await students in a safe manner, not on roadsides unless reviewed and approved following request, utilize stop areas that are not also used for regular home to school transportation to avoid student identification, confusion, and traffic congestion. Stop locations are not to be adjacent with school locations, and they must have winter maintenance. So we do comply across the board with criteria across our community stops.
Thank you. Trustee Wilson?
Yes, through you, Chair, to McLean. I understood what you said there. However, when they were giving that delegation, I'm a parent, and I could not imagine that situation with Highway 27. Everything that they laid out, I would be petrified. Obviously, there is, that responsibility of the parents. So I'm just trying to, so everything that you just read, does that so there's, that falls into that. Like, it doesn't seem, you know, because there isn't sidewalks, and it's a high, like, you know, all the things that they pointed out in their delegation, none of that gives credence to anything being changed. Is that what you're saying?
Superintendent McLean?
Sure, through the trustee, or through the chair, my apologies. So at this point, as per policy, the walk path is not determined by us. It is the parent's responsibility, as it is a voluntary program, to, if they want to use the community stops, to get their children to those community stops. It is a different policy than what's outlined in the home to school stop if they were attending their home school.
Follow up, Trustee Wilson.
Okay, so if this wasn't French immersion, this scenario would not happen. Is that correct?
Through the chair, that is correct.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, do we have any other matters from the trustees for questions and comments? Trustee Bites, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Through you to, I just want to clarify a couple matters, because I guess I don't really know where we left things with the discrepancy in, or the different ways of reporting different types of incidents of violence in schools. I know I've brought this up before, and the Joint Health and Safety Committee, I guess I'm wondering why, because I was just reading the Occupational Health and Safety regulation for work again, and, you know, boards are considered the employer. And so I don't understand why we wouldn't be getting regular reports about what's going on there, or even have a representative from the board on that committee. It just seems like we are the employer and the ultimate employer. Like, I know we have one employee, but, you know, there is a phrase right in the act about how boards are considered the employer. And I know we go over this at length during contract negotiations and stuff. So I'm just, you know, I think maybe if there is a misunderstanding, you know, I love to dig deep into numbers and, you know, really get some clarification, especially if things are being reported in the news, get some clarity on the differences. And, you know, if we're, you know, we should, you know, how it appears doesn't seem to make sense, right? And I get that there are specific definitions in the APM about violent instances, but then, you know, it's not including these other ones. So I'm just, you know, violence is violence. If it happens in school, whether it's the staff, whether it's a student, you know, I think both not good and not making our schools safe places. So I'm just wondering why we can't get reports or can't have that as one of our committees, and get some more information so that we don't have these confusing situations arise. I don't know if you have any guidance on how that could work, Chair Rafik.
Yes, thank you, Trustee Bites. I believe your answer was in your question there, that we have one employee. We are not the employer of the entire board of staff. We are the employer of one employee, which is the Director of Education. So that is very different. I do believe Director Stevens would like to respond as well.
Yes, thank you. And through you, Chair Rafik, to Trustee Bites, that is correct. So if I had a health and safety concern, I would also go to the Health and Safety Committee, but I would also potentially report to the chair if there was something that I had to report, because that is my, as the Board of Trustees, the employee that you have is me.
Follow up, Trustee Bites?
Yeah, no, fair enough. I get that. But that's how all boards work. They hire one CEO, they hire one person, and yet they get reports, other boards get reports on occupational health and safety at their board tables. So I'm wondering why it's different in education, why the same rules wouldn't apply to us. And I think, you know, especially if there's questions in the community, concerns, you know, any discrepancy with numbers, you know, like why wouldn't we? Like, one of our things is transparency, you know, and if there's some confusion, you know, let's make sure it's crystal clear and get some more information. That's just kind of where I'm thinking there. I'd like maybe our director to consider looking into the matter. because I do think how every other board, it's the same structure. They all have just one employee or two employees, and they get this information. So I'm confused as to why it's different here, but there must be something I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Bites. I did ask the question if other boards are getting this information, and what I was told was no, that other boards of education within the province are not receiving this information either. I think we get into what we talk about a lot of the governance versus operations, but I do believe Director Stevens wanted to respond again.
Thank you, and through you, Chair Rafik, to Trustee Bites. So boards are not all created equal. Boards of education, hospital boards, police boards, they all have their own governance structure. So our governance structure through the Education Act is clear that the Board of Trustees' responsibility is governance, and the board, little b board, is operations.
Okay, I saw Trustee Foley, and then I'll come to Trustee Talbot.
Madam Chair, and through you, I know a number of boards, actually our closest board, which is Blue Water Board, not only sits on the Joint Health and Safety Committee, but one of the trustees is co-chair. I know that Hamilton has split health and safety into two groupings. So it does occur around the province where the trustees are involved in joint health and safety as observers, to observe and make sure that things are good. I think it's an important thing. And as the director said a couple of weeks ago, if we want to change something, bring a motion, and maybe somebody will, that we need to have a trustee on joint health and safety to be an observer and see what's going on, and maybe that'll end a lot of the confusion. So, but it is taking place in boards across the province.
Thank you, Trustee Foley. Trustee Talbot?
Yes, Madam Chair. I'm frustrated with this question. I consider our job as governance to understand the violence which is going on in Simcoe County Board of Education. I do consider that. Is anybody offside with this? I consider this a very important topic. I'm very frustrated. The numbers, I think 98 was the last we had of violent offenses, and Mike, you mentioned 508, some other number. I don't understand the lack of consistency, the lack of transparency, and I do not understand why we cannot have a report. It doesn't matter if it's in the camera or emails in camera to the members or to the trustees, but I do not understand for the life of me, and I'm asking you, Madam Chair, should I get a motion going? Is that the best way of proceeding with this? Because I would like to know what happens in Bradford. If someone had a gun pulled on them, knife, or someone's getting hurt. If there's violence, is there violence trend? And I like to see it and want to know about it everywhere as governance. I think we have to keep people safe. We don't have to run around to micromanage, but we have to set policies that will ensure the safety of students, staff, and all the members of the Simcoe County Board of Education. And the question to you, should I do a motion of notice? Should I introduce that to cover this, or what's the best way of proceeding with this?
So to answer your question, yes, anything that you would like to bring forward, you would have to bring a notice of motion, and it would be a discussion amongst the Board of Trustees, and they would vote on that. Yes. So yes, you could bring a notice of motion for whatever it is that you would like to request at today's meeting, and then the motion would be discussed at our next meeting. Okay. Yeah. Follow up, Trustee Talbot.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. I don't have it right now, but can I say that I'm putting a motion of
We have a
notice of motion. Yeah,
we do
I don't
have
have one yet.
We have a spot on our agenda for that. It's a little bit further down, so you do have a moment you have some time to get yourself together if you would like to do it.
All right, I'll say thank you. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Bites.
Can I make a motion so we can have a recess so Trustee Talbot can write his motion? Or does that happen later? If you need more time, I don't know.
Would you like a recess, Trustee Talbot?
I don't have one yet.
No, would you like a recess?
So that you can
would
make
you like
one.
Us to have a break?
I could just have to get the right wording, I guess.
Sorry, so Trustee Bites is just mentioning that we could have a recess. We could take a break for 5 minutes if you would like that time to do something. Would you like us to take a break from the meeting for 5 minutes?
I don't think it's necessary. I could have it done by the end of the meeting. Is
Yep.
that okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to see if you needed more time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, yes. So we aren't finished other matters yet. So notice of motion is next on our agenda, Trustee Talbot. We are not finished other matters yet. I know I do have a few things to say. Trustee Bites, do you have something else you'd like to share?
Yeah, no, sorry, there was two matters that I felt kind of were left open, and the other one was regard to this legal decision regarding the board and Trustee Wilson, and I'm just wondering if we're going to get a report on that. Like that, I too just found out about it, multi-pages, but surely there is some learning we could all get from that. So I don't know if what the protocol is with this. When I know this is kind of a different situation, but do we get a report from our legal, or I don't know how that works. I'm just wondering what the follow-up is on this.
Thank you, Trustee Bites. So my answer, I'm not trying to repeat myself, but my answer is going to be, I found out about this moments before our meeting. I have not had time to look into anything. I have not read a single thing myself. I would like to be properly informed before I talk to the table about it. So I will promise you I will be looking into this on very many levels, and I just don't have any answers at this time.
No, that's okay.
Because it was moments before
I
the
just
meeting.
wanted to confirm that you are going to.
I promise you I will be looking into things.
Okay.
And researching further.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. All right, anyone else have anything else to share? Okay, I do have a few things I would like to share for other matters. So I'd like to start, unfortunately would like to start with something very sad. I would like to acknowledge the recent passing of Tyler Gagne, who was a student in my area, who was in grade 12 at Banting Memorial. I would like to extend our deepest sympathies to the Gagne family during this unimaginable time. The loss has greatly impacted the whole community, and I know the Gagne family is welcoming everyone to attend the celebration of life tomorrow at the Sadlin Center. My heart goes out to all of Tyler's family, friends, fellow hockey players, and of course all of the staff who are feeling the loss as well. I hope tomorrow the whole community can really come together and wrap their arms around each other and support each other. So I did just want to share that information. It's always hard to go from that to something else good. I'll take a moment. Trustee Bites, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just want to echo what you said there. Certainly we'll be going with my kids tomorrow, and it's just such a sad time, and we're praying and giving good thoughts. I can't imagine. This has just been a horrible tragedy, and it's really affected a lot of people. So I hope people can come tomorrow and share some good memories and support one another through this very difficult time. But thank you for sharing that, Chair Rafik. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Trustee Bites. So like I said, I did also want to share a couple of other things. I had the pleasure of attending the PIC, the Parent Involvement Connections event, and it was a wonderful event. I was the chair of PIC for a lot of years, and then I was organizing that day for a long time, and so it's always interesting to attend. I was lucky enough to be able to sit in on one of the sessions and talk to the group about the role of PIC members and the role of school council chairs, and it was a really great night. I loved getting back to talking to all my school council chairs, and I got a lot of messages from people after, and it was really great to make those connections again. So thank you to Superintendent Saflosky and Executive Assistant Sauvé and the whole committee for putting on such a wonderful event. It was wonderful. It was amazingly attended. I believe I heard over 150 people signed in, and we had over 200 bags, and they were gone, the swag bags. So it was a very, very well attended event. It just shows how we get more people every year to the event. So it really shows the interest. So it was wonderful. One last thing I did want to share as well. I did talk about in my speech the other night about Eat Well to Excel. So I did attend a recent Eat Well to Excel meeting, and we were told that all schools will now be receiving funding for student nutrition. All schools have been taken off the wait list. There are no more schools on the wait list. And like I said the other night, I am so unbelievably happy about this and so unbelievably proud of the work that we did. It took us a while. We wrote a letter to the wrong person, and then we were told the right person to write a letter to. And, it took us a while while to figure things out, but we stuck with it. And I really think it shows the work of local trustees and the impact that we can have. One of the things that I shared with this group that we were concerned about is that we were in the area, Central East includes Durham and York. Those are much bigger boards than ours. They had more schools on the waiting list. So we knew it was possible that our funds would be diluted the most if this happened. But I am happy to report that there has been more federal funding and more provincial funding added from the NCCSS as well. So it doesn't look like the funding will appear to be diluted. It will appear that schools will be receiving more funds right now. We're still trying to get those numbers exactly from Eat Well to Excel, but the money will flow through there, and all of our schools now will be receiving that funding. So I just want to thank the board, everyone at the table, for their work on that as well. Trustee Foley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A couple of things. I just want to report that I'll be at CCI on Monday, going to a student council meeting. I'm looking very much forward to that. I think that'll be very insightful and a lot of fun. Also, I want to thank those of people that are here that showed up to the fundraiser that we put on in Wasaga to raise money for all Wasaga schools. So Sean Cooper from the separate board and myself put on a Yuck Yucks fundraiser. We raised over $4,000 for our elementary schools, which is going directly to the nutrition programs, and the checks will be going out next Tuesday. So thanks a lot. And I also have a notice of motion as well for the evening. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that information, Trustee Foley. Congratulations. That's a wonderful achievement. Thank you. All right. Any other matters, any other questions or comments from trustees at this time? Okay. All right. So we are moving on to the possibly busy notice of motion section. Do I have any notice of motion for next meeting? Trustee Foley, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Very simple motion that a trustee be placed on the Joint Health and Safety Committee as an observer to be able to report back to the board.
Okay, do I have a seconder for that motion? Trustee Wilson, thank you very much. All right, Trustee Foley, do you have the motion you can send over this way? Pass it through. Thank you very much. Okay, so that will be discussed at our next board meeting. Trustee Talbot, do you have a notice of motion?
Yes, I do, Chair Rafiq. Moved by myself that the Simcoe County Board of Education accumulate and distribute the incidents of violence throughout the entire school board. The criterion used will cite assaults using guns, knives, doing bodily harm, staff assaults, and the report should be monthly, either in open session or in closed sessions. So I'll need a seconder for that.
Thank you very much, Trustee Talbot. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Trustee Bites, thank you. Okay, Trustee Talbot, if you could pass that along, that would be wonderful. Thank you very much. All right, do we have any other notice of motion this evening?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, no other notice of motion this evening. Vice Chair Strawn, please go ahead.
Thank you. And I don't have a seconder yet. Maybe somebody would like to second it, but that board policy 2193 regarding corporate board role and description be reviewed and updated and brought back to the Board of Trustees.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Trustee Lloyd. Okay, and we will pass that along. Thank you very much. And do I have any other notice of motion this evening? Okay, not seeing any. Thank you. All right, so that does take us to professional development seminar attendance. Do we have anyone that would like to declare? Trustee Wilson, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to attend PES in January. So.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else? Vice Chair Strawn?
Thank you. I'd also like to declare attendance at the Public Education Symposium.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Okay, I will declare that I will be attending the Public Education Symposium. All right. No one else at this time? Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so moving along in our agenda, that takes us to 5 report updates from staff. So we have Director Stevens.
Thank you. And through the chair. As fall turns into winter in the SCDSB, I've had the privilege of visiting many schools and witnessing the amazing opportunities for our students. Our extracurricular clubs and sports teams in elementary and secondary schools are outstanding. I thank our educators and volunteers for creating these opportunities for our students. East Oro's Swifty Music Club, Maple Ridge Senior Football, Harvest Hills Breakfast Program, and Banting's Greenhouse were just a few areas that I highlight where I saw how staff and volunteers, both community and students, are really coming together to support students and provide them with opportunities outside of the classroom to make connections, build skills, and thrive. This fall, I created a Principals Advisory Council to the Director to have time with school principals from all regions to discuss in more depth the work of the Director's priorities and the strategic priorities. From there, we had a further subcommittee to discuss elementary math and integrating math instruction, similar to how we integrate literacy. This focus on student achievement allows us to look strategically at the school day and staff and where we can maximize time and personnel. Principals are eager to keep the focus in schools on student achievement through the School Action and Equity Plan and as instructional leaders. And finally, I would like to thank Mike Ruby and the Rotary Club of Barrie for another successful launch of the Rotary Book Day in Barrie. This was the 10th anniversary of the program, which gives every grade 2 student in Barrie a book to take home and read with their families, and even contains an activity for families to participate in together. These community partnerships are valued and appreciated. And I know we have another great Celebrates video to show, so I'll let that play now.
As we celebrate stories from the system in relation to the SCDSB strategic priorities. This month, we celebrate the grand opening of Wasaga Beach Elementary School. We watch students shine at the Special Olympics and follow students on their visit to the Barrie Legion to honor heroes on Remembrance Day.
It is with immense pride and joy that I welcome you all to the official grand opening ceremony of Wasaga Beach Public School.
What would be the one word you would use to describe Wasaga Beach Public?
One word to describe it. That part's hard for me. I think vibrant.
What makes this school more than just a building?
The people. Of course it's the people. Seeing them work with the space that was two-dimensional for me for a long time, imagining what this would look like in the future, and now to see that come to fruition. It's not the bricks and mortar, it's seeing how an idea becomes part of a young person's life, listening to the stories of the community, how people ended up here, why they chose this as a place to live with their families, to start a journey, has been incredibly rewarding.
When I come in and I visit the school and I'm in the hallways, it's so nice to see students looking after one another, and of course the overarching support of all of the staff.
We're at the edge of town and we're at the edge of nature. So it's a great combination for all our students to get involved in all sorts of environmental activities. Your time, your energy, and your hearts really make a difference.
It's an open school that welcomes everybody, and not just community and students, but also people that are wanting to help.
What I hope parents and students feel when they enter is a sense of home. In just over a year, Wasaga Beach Public School has transformed from a bare structure into a hub of learning, creativity, and connection. And today we want to give you a glimpse into that life.
There's many words, but one word I would say is probably welcoming.
Kind. Relationships.
Inclusive.
Community.
Love.
Togetherness.
Today at Twin Lakes, we are celebrating one of our Special Olympics days where elementary students from some of our special education classrooms around the Aurelia area come and celebrate with some athletic events.
Selfie mode.
Hi. I think the wonderful thing about these events is you really get to see students smiling and having fun.
It's a great opportunity for students to get outside and get active in the community. It's also a great opportunity for students to get a sense of pride and wear their school colors to do fun, inclusive, and competitive games, as well as integrate with the volunteers from their high school at a high school that they'll eventually attend.
Obstacle course, the frisbee, and the soccer, and the ball toss. It was wonderful. It was great.
students to be able to participate and have the same opportunities. And this gives students that might not otherwise have had that opportunity a day out at the high school and to share in sport and have fun.
Activities. To do that. The water top. That's our game. To summer.
That partnership with Special Olympics Ontario has been amazing. They've been fabulous partners in this work, and our Central Special Education team has put a lot of time and effort into creating these events. And at the end of the day, it really is just about giving those students a sense of belonging, feeling included, and feeling celebrated.
Mrs. Bryn Cumming, and I'm a teacher at Andrew Hunter Elementary School here in Barrie. It's an opportunity to have our students meet with veterans today, to have them share their stories, their history with them. This is an invaluable experience for our students to see what the Legion does and how they reach out to so many veterans and people within our community. It makes history come alive. They can have this Remembrance Day experience where they too reflect upon everyone who has provided us the freedoms and privileges that we have as Canadians. We're so grateful for the Legion for hosting us.
My name is Fern Taifair. I am the first Vice President of Legion here. I'm also the Poppy Chairman. I wanted to carry on tradition in the military, and so I joined the Legion. I've been here for 22 years now. It's the most important thing to me because especially for Remembrance Day, and it's also a chance to give back to the community. It's important for the generation coming up. That's why they're here today. Let's educate them on why and how. We have 6 stations. They're going to learn what is a peacekeeper. Why do we have peacekeeping? We'll have a group talking about the Air Force, what the cadets can do for you. I started off as a cadet when I was 12 years old. I had a chance to go to Europe and guard various members of the royal family.
This is an opportunity for students who are going into high school as they will get to study Canadian history moving forward. And then we have the intermediates able to come down to the cenotaph to take on the parade.
It's important to know about the history because the veterans sacrificed a lot in the wars that are happening actively and in the past. It was kind of surprising seeing all the aircrafts that they have show off.
It's important to learn about Canada's military history to honor and respect the people that have fought and served for our country.
When they go to November 11th on the day of, they'll see the parade marching down with all our veterans. And when they see the laying of a wreath, what does that mean? What symbolizes? That's what this is all about. And so it leads up to November 11th, which is the big day.
For the latest videos and positive news, visit the Celebrates page on the SCDSB website.
Always the best part, for sure. Thank you very much. Okay, all right, so that takes us to correspondence on our agenda. We do have a number of correspondence here. So we have a letter from the Bradford West Gwillimbury, from the town of West Bradford, West Gwillimbury, a letter from the Township of Essa, a letter from the Township of Collingwood, a letter from the Town of Collingwood, letter from the Waterloo Regions District School Board, a letter from the Lambton Kent District School Board, a letter from the Deputy Minister, a letter from Essa Township of Essa, and a letter from the Simcoe County District School Board as well. All right, so lots of great things to read there. Okay, so next up on our agenda, we would be looking for a motion that the board move into Committee of the Whole in closed session at this time. Do I have a mover for that? Trustee Foley, seconded by Trustee Lloyd. All those in favor? And that carries. Okay, so we'll just take a few minutes to move into close. Thank you very much. Okay, so we are back in public session. Thank you, everyone. So we do have some recommendations coming from our closed session. With permission from the table, we have 3 motions that I would like to move and read and move as a package. Is that all right with the table? Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so I will read the 3 recommendations. So number 1, that the board, pending Minister of Education approval, declare the existing Banting Memorial High School site and the G.A. Wright Athletic Field surplus for the purpose of disposition to the town of New Tecumseh in exchange for a new high school site as set out in report number CLB2A, Banting Memorial High School replacement, site acquisition and disposition, dated November 26, 2025. Number 2, that the board approve that in exchange for the Banting Memorial High School site, municipally known as 203 Victoria Street East, and the G.A. Wright Athletic Field, municipally known as 251 Albert Street East, the board receive approximately 25 acres on the homestead property as a land swap with no monetary compensation by either party, as set out in report number CLB2A, Banting Memorial High School replacement site acquisition and disposition, dated November 26, 2025. Number 3, that the board approve the staff and the board solicitor to be authorized to execute the land transactions per the terms of the purchase set out in report number CLB2A, Banting Memorial High School replacement site acquisition and disposition, dated November 26, 2025. Do I have a mover for that? Thank you, Trustee Bites. Do we have a second? Trustee Wilson? Any questions or comments on the motions? Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? And I'm going to put my hand up for that one too. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to all of our staff and trustees who have advocated for this to happen for so long. I know staff have worked very, very hard for a lot of years, and this is a wonderful step forward that we are extremely excited about. So thank you, everyone. Okay. All right, so that brings us to future meetings of the board, standing committees and advisory committees. So we do have a Safe Schools Committee meeting on December 2nd, Special Education Advisory Committee meeting on December 8th, and then the regular meeting of the board on December 17th. So just a reminder to trustees that our business meeting on December 3rd has been canceled, and as well as our program meeting on December 10th has been canceled as well. So we will be back together all around the table on the 17th. Okay. All right. So at this time, I would be looking for a motion to adjourn. Trustee Wilson, seconded by Trustee Bites. All those in favor? And that carries. We are adjourned. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you very much.